Hey everyone, welcome to 4:44 p.m. Well, here's my latest build. This is the Rising Sun Ninja that I made. Hold on here. And, I've been reluctant to make videos on my channel as of late, just because it's so time consuming and so much attention has to go into, doing your shots, setup, and, then editing and, trying to, make sure that there's no noise around you and all the other things that go on, trying to make a good video for your viewers on YouTube. And I just wanted to focus mainly on, the watch building, and watch modding and present that to you guys via pictures on Instagram. But I've gotten a lot of requests lately for like, oh, I wish you could film my watch being built and all this stuff and everything. And although I don't like to do it so much with customers' watches, because I like to focus all my attention on the watch build for the customer, I thought, well, I can start doing it with builds that I do for myself that I potentially want to sell, or that I want to keep, whatever. So I've made a couple of videos in the past couple weeks of few watches that I've done, and that was all practice to get back in the routine of trying to film stuff leading up to this particular build, because I had it in my mind that this was going to be a really fun build and something different, and I knew that I was going to use this particular case for this dial and handset that I made. And reason being is that I wanted to try and show that you could mod the new Seiko 5 Street Series SKX replacement cases using SKX parts and whatnot. And so I prepped and I filmed a couple of those videos, got a little bit of feedback on the viewing angles and whatnot and everything. And I knew I needed a different lens, so I even went out and bought a lens for my camera to improve the field of view and get everything in frame. And then I got a new mount for the camera and had it set up so that it actually got one of the best angles that I've had yet of filming a build, which showed the watch the whole entire process and not covered up by my hands, and was very detailed. And so yesterday I built this watch, filmed the whole entire thing. It took the better half of my day, the afternoon into evening, and then decided to get up early this morning, and while I was having my coffee, spent 2 hours editing the footage down to 23-minute video that I was going to post today on YouTube for all of you guys to see how I built this watch. And the video wouldn't save for some reason, or get exported, even though it was telling me that it had exported successfully from the program that I was using, into my, videos album. And every time I'd go to look for it, it wasn't there. I figured it maybe was a space issue, storage issue, so I cleared out a lot of the storage on my, device in order to make room. I went back in, and checked again, still not there, and then went to the app, the program that I used to make the video, and lo and behold, somehow, I guess human error, whatever, human error due to the fact that the program was erroring, which led to me creating the human error, which deleted all the original files. So all that time wasted, all for nothing. Can't get that part of my life back. But then again, that could be said for a lot of things that I've done in my life. So anyhow, rather than be pissed off like I have been for the past hour, I decided I'll just make a quick little video to present this to you guys, show you what I did, and explain some of the things, because I had a lot of information in that video that was useful. I'll try and remember it as I describe the watch. So what I did was, first of all, let's take off this NATO strap. So this is the SBSA025. I think that's the correct reference number for the watch that I used as the base for this build. Make a little rag here. I hate dust and lint. Anyhow, okay. So I think that's the correct reference number for this watch, so which would be the new JDM version of the Seiko 5 Street Series SKX replacement. And I had used the guts from this SBSA025 to put into another build that I did, and you can see the video. In fact, I will put a link to the video, or one of those little pop-ups at the end of this for that build video. I mean, even though it's not as good as quality as the one that I had filmed yesterday for this. Anyhow, I used the guts out of this case into that watch to show that you could convert the new Seiko 5 Street Series watches into an actual diver with a screw down crown using one of my 444 PM black PVD coated cases. And I did that, and then I put it on a crafter blue strap, and put a ceramic insert in the bezel to show that the ceramic inserts fit the bezels that come with those watches. I put a sapphire crystal in it, and I put a chapter ring, an SKX chapter ring, to show that all those parts are compatible. With well, obviously they're going to be compatible because I was using one of my cases. And then I realized that, so in essence I wanted to do the same thing with this case to show that you can take SKX parts and put them on this case and have the same interchangeability between the two. But along the way there was a few things that didn't seem to work that well, so I'll describe those. Anyhow, so I had done a previous build of Rising Sun with one of my earlier mods. I did a SKX case that I had Cerakoted in red, and then did the same style dial in it with red hands and everything and stuff. In this process of doing this dial this way, you lose the ability for the dial to have lume anymore, which on the previous one that I did, I was doing that just kind of as a trying something new out, and I sold that watch to a guy in the UK who really liked it. He wasn't concerned about lume, and on this one I knew that this would be the perfect way to go for this, because being that this isn't a dive watch, because doesn't have a screw down crown, it's just basically like a kind of a fashion watch. I thought, well, that would be perfect to do a custom dial like this in, because it gives you a chance to do something without having to worry about lume, because lume is mainly for somebody that's diving and wants to have the visibility of the dial and the hands, or if they're going to be at night. And then I aptly named this the Rising Sun Ninja, because ninjas are stealthy and don't like to be seen, so what do you need lume for? Anyhow, so that kind of gives you a little background on the design here and what I was going for. So this is, like I said, the SBSA025, and I had taken all the guts out and used that previously. So what I did was I went ahead and put an NH36 movement in this, which is basically what was in it prior. It had the Seiko 4R36 in it before, which is the same as this. This is just the unbranded version of that movement. And the gray dial holder that comes on this movement can be used in this case with this case back, because it's the same exact height or width that the dial holder that's on the original movement that was in this case would have on it. They didn't use, in these new Street Series, they don't use the thicker black diver dial holder on the movements. So that's one thing to note and be aware of as far as doing any modding goes on this. These spring bars that come stock on here, these are Seiko spring bars, but another thing to note is that the Seiko fat spring bars won't work on these Street Series cases. The inner diameter of the holes and the overall diameter of the pins going into the holes is smaller, narrower than what they would be on a fat Seiko spring bar, and also the body of the bar itself is going to be thinner. So you can't have interchangeability between the spring bars. You have to use smaller spring bars or these Seiko OEM spring bars that go to these actual cases. What else here? Oh, the crystal. So the crystal gasket that came in this is a little bit thicker than the standard SKX crystal gaskets. I don't know why, but I attempted to put a brand new SKX crystal gasket into this case and then press in this crystal, and it was too loose fitting. It just basically I could push it out with my finger. So being that the original crystal gasket that came with this case was still in good condition and had nothing wrong with it, as it didn't get you know, messed up when I pressed out the crystal that was in this case originally, I was able to reuse that, and then it held this crystal in perfectly. So that's something else to know. You're gonna have to figure out where you can get a little thicker crystal gasket, because I don't think that the OEM or aftermarket SKX crystal gaskets are going to work. Maybe it was just a fluke. I don't know. But anyhow, okay, so I think that pretty much covers all the issues that I ran into. Anyhow, what I did was I took and put an H36 into this, and then I changed out the day and date wheel to the black background with white numbers, and then English kanji on the day wheel to give it that overall you know, Japanese theme. This bezel, I believe, is from Crystal Times. In fact, I'm pretty positive it is. I can't remember exactly where I got it though, but anyhow, it fits perfectly, no issues. This bezel insert is from a seller on eBay. I don't remember the seller's name, but it's the only one I found that's ceramic sloped, fits, and has the red numbering and markers on there. What else? The crystal is from DLW. It's a double domed, no beveled edge, clear AR, and looks great. Then I've got the black brushed chapter ring, steel chapter ring from Lucius Atelier, however you pronounce it. Anyhow, it's a nice chapter ring, looks really good in there. There is a couple of minute flaws in it, the coating that was on it, to make it the black look. I don't know if that's PVD or anodized or whatnot, but there was a couple little spots where it looked like the coating didn't take, but they're so minute that I decided to go ahead and run it anyways. They're not really noticeable. So other than that, that was fine. I colored this pip black, but I've already kind of knocked it on my desk, so I need to recolor that. But I blacked that out so that it would match the watch better instead of having a white one on there. And then the dial is a genuine Seiko SKX007 dial that I had, that I used my technique on, that I do, that basically colors the entire dial, and then also gives it a texture that I like to have it look like it's, I call it a bamboo texturing. It's like a grain, like wood grain effect, but it's supposed to like represent bamboo. And then the hands are a set of hands that I got. They're aftermarket SKX hands, but I stripped them down so that they had no paint on them whatsoever, or no coating, no loom, no anything. And then I repainted them myself, you know, red, and then I did the bottom portions of them in black, and then I did the tip of the second hand in black, and I essentially wanted them to be skeleton hands in order to, since this is going to be a no loom build, it would be able to, you know, not cover up the dial at all, so you'd have that full effect. And I think it goes really good. It looks really great. Anyhow, so that's pretty much it. I just wanted to go over, you know, this build, because I was really upset that it didn't get, you know, I didn't get to post it like I wanted to. But anyhow, build turned out really good. I think it looks really great. Everything went together flawlessly on it, other than those little issues I described that were easily fixed. And then I took and matched it up with the original NATO strap that came with this case. So it's got the Seiko branding on there. And there it is. Wish I could have shown you guys the original build video, but it is what it is. And you got to see this instead and see everything that's going on with the watch. So, all right, there you go. Have a great rest of your Seiko Sunday. And I think I'm gonna go get a beer now. All right, thanks for watching.